Hey guys, and how's it going? Hey, we're going to continue on this 1974 Honda ST90 that I grabbed about 5 or 6 years ago on a trade. Anyway, this is going to be part 2 on it. The first video, we kind of went through it, found out what it needed. It didn't have spark. We traced that down, got that to work, and then dribbled a little bit of fuel in it and got it to fire for a second, and then it died. Since then, I did a little bit of parts shopping, so we got a bunch of parts that came in. I'll show you that, but we got pretty much all tore apart. Exhaust is off it, tanks out of it, headlights apart, seeing what's going on with that. Carburetors down apart, torn apart. The magneto covers off on the other side, seats off of it. Again, the first video was more of like an assessment on it, and we made a shopping list. And that shopping list came in. So what we have is new seat cover, new headlight, carb kit, to like China carb kits, cheaper ones, so that's an actual Honda. Points condenser, new battery for it, fuel line, and fuel filters and that kind of thing. So without further ado, how about we start jumping back on this and see if we can get more knocked out on it. Possibly get it done in this video, but we'll see. I'm not gonna, no promises yet. I think what we should probably do, I was waiting on making sure I can get a carb kit for it, so I didn't want to soak it, because I didn't want to destroy this gasket. So now that we know that we have that, we can rip this gasket assembly off of there. We'll get this soaking in the ultrasonic cleaner, and while that's doing that, we'll jump onto something else. I stripped off the intake manifold off of that and saved those gaskets. Throw the bowl in there and float. Hopefully the float stays floating. Everybody in the pool. All right. Let that buzz for, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. So one thing that was sitting for about a week is the gas tank. I haven't done anything with it since. I think we ended up putting lacquer thinner in it. It was either acetone or lacquer thinner. I forget which one it was. And that kind of broke up. It had like a thick mud that was in it. It's, yeah, it looked like that in the bottom. That's what was coming out of the tank. So, let's go. Pour that out. Let's shake it up a little bit first. I'm not sure what we're going to do afterwards, whether we need to put some acid in it. Let's see how clean this comes out first. Right? I know. That's with the fuel empty. That was just the crap that was in the tank. I'm going to go rinse that out with water. And I'll bring you back. Let's see what it looks like inside there. Hey, I got it rinsed out till the water went clear anyway. We can see bottom of the tank. See, we got a couple of islands of like muddy sand. Let's go see if we can poke at that with a screwdriver a little bit. You see? Stab you in the eye with a screwdriver. Yeah, so that stuff doesn't look like it's on there all that bad. I think maybe we should take like some gravel or some small nuts and bolts and shake that up, see how much there is in it. Any in the back there? See, it looks pretty good, huh? What's that way back there I'm seeing? Yeah, so let's go give her a couple of shakes. I don't see any rot. Gonna blow out the bottom. Almost looks like it's a Galvy metal, doesn't it? That's good. How about rust? Got some scaliness on the side there. Yeah, see what we can do. Let's go pick ourselves something that got nice sharp edges on it. What do you think? Probably like tiny nuts. Is that tiny enough? Think that'll do it? Let's try them. They're gonna be fun to get out of there. I tried the larger ones, and it didn't kind of get into the little crannies. So let's go see how this does. Think more? Yeah. Little. Whole box. Alright. Let's go fill it up with water. We'll put the rag back over the top of the plastic bag. Lock the cap on it. And try to figure out a way to shake, shake, shake. You know, you're getting out old and you get out of breath shaking a can. I ended up doing hot water and hand cleanser. Like, see how that does for it. More of a hot chocolate. Let me go rinse that out. See how that looks. I'm not gonna start getting all the bolts out of it yet. Let's go rinse it out. See if it's good. If so, we'll take a magnet. There's a little bit of a lip. Kind of holding it. Let's see if that worked for us. All right, and the results are. How's that look, huh? That looks awesome. Perfect. Because sometimes there's a coating on the wall, and if you put the acid in it, it'll strip all that away and it'll rust really easy. I kind of want to do that as the last resort. I think that'll do us just fine though. Excellent. Let's I'm gonna go dry that out. I gotta go punch out the cork that I put in those. I'll hit that one with the drill bit. I'll kind of clean them out. One's the reserve and the other one's the full. The full's behind it, right back in there. Awesome. It only took to get rid of that. Look at the mud that's in the bottom of that. That was all in the tank. That was all fuel. Yeah, that. And then that. That's a lot of dirt. Even clean my nuts. Gotta have clean nuts. I think we got a lot of parts off of it. Why don't we give her a little bath while we can get to everything? You know, I'm just gonna spray it down with WD-40. Maybe I'll come back with like a Scotch-Brite and scuff it all up and then wipe it down. I think I'll save you the long drawn out part of that happening. So I'll bring you back after we get her cleaned up, see how she looks. Well, that quick bath, I think, made it feel a little bit better. I just want to try to get some of the heavy stuff off before we start reassembling. You know, the fenders kind of need to be detailed. I don't know if I'm going to take them off or not, but I wanted to get the areas where, of course, then you put the muffler and everything back on are kind of clean. Carb put back on. You're not trying to clean the fins in between there. So that looks decent. I think maybe we'll jump on doing some bending. Oh, it shows it all. At all. And some of the stuff is a little on the bent up side. The 10-year-old that was riding it had 1 or 2 or 20 crashes on it. So let's go grab some, I don't know, some water pumps or something. Give a twist on some of these brackets, get them back into play while it's drying, and then we will jump over in that carburetor. See if we get that knocked out, put back together. It looks pretty decent. The original paint's not bad. And a couple nicks here and there, but we're not looking for perfection. Original decals. And I'm going to ride it in the woods, so it's not like it's going to stay nice and pristine anyway, but I don't mind cleaning it up while we got it, you know, this far apart. Alright, let's go get some pliers. We call him Jaws. Let's just give it a little bit of that. Some of these lights looks like we might be better off. Looks like they got bent back again. Got a big lump in there. Maybe we could take that right off and hammer it and straighten it. I'll show you when you get it off. Yeah, this would be a good bike for like, put it on the back of a motorhome. It's 90cc. I don't know what the top speed of this thing would probably be. 45? That's a guess on my part. So, not exactly, you're going to be cruising down I-95 in it, but... And plug this from the other end and see if we can work this out of there. I think the chances are all Let's let that hang for a little bit. I don't know if I can be able to get that back in without taking everything apart. There it goes. I think this is a rubber bracket just hanging here. Get that out of the way. It's got a ground wire going to that. So. How does that come out? I think it's open on the bottom. There we go. Hey, you see how beat up it is now? Yeah, let's get a hammer behind that with like a little dolly. Smash that flat. That fit behind there? Kinda, sorta. A little bit of a crimp right there. I wonder if we can kind of work it out. What there is a corner right here. That's why. Close enough for me. Put that one back together. Hammered that back into submission. Let's little bracket that was there is kind of kitty wampus. Let's maybe we could shove a wrench in there. We'll squeeze it back to the wrench. That work for us? It's got a ground wire on it. There's nothing holding it in place, or else I'd probably like put it over on a vise and work it. Assembles it. And hopefully it's not going to wiggle that back up in there. Alright. Line the holes. So one of them the wire goes through and one of the bolt goes through. Look at that light real quick. Make sure we're good. So that's going to go like that. Let's take this while it's off on a wire wheel. We'll just kind of clean up some of that rust that's on there. It's Scotch-Brite that. I think this is plastic. The white Scotch-Brites are like the least abrasive. You know, the green ones, if you're doing a lot of rust on steel, seem to work pretty good, but these are like the kitchen safe ones. I'm sure there's other stuff we can use too, but this is what I got. See if it'll clean up the plastic. All scratched up now. That'll be good enough. Trying not to drop it. Original lenses. Alright, let's go throw that back on. So just what I was afraid of. You're in the wire through one loophole, and it's got to go through there, and then there's another grommet back in there. I don't know if you can even see it. There's a grommet back down in there that you can't even touch with your finger. So we got to take it apart anyway, just get those wires back on. So it's like 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Let's get that up and out of there. We might as well just kind of detail the rest of it. We might as well take that apart because that is all flopping in the breeze and twist it around a little bit. Maybe we can beat on that and get that rear fender off. Detail that while it's apart. What we got to do to get that out of there? That looks like it's just stuck in the front. Those hold it. And those hold it. See the hole now. Yeah, you can go eyeball those wires. Make sure the colors all match up with each other before we gut them. I just want to make sure green goes to green and etc. etc. We'll just totally disassemble it. It's got an odd look to it now, doesn't it? So what's your thoughts on this piece is welded to the fender, but they run the wires up through it. You think I'll have any chance if I pull them out of there to clean the top of the fender and bang on the bracket, getting it back through there? You think I should work with it as it is? I don't know. What we got for... I wonder if maybe we can pull a piece of wire through it and pull it back when we're done. Let's go for it. It's pretty mangled up anyway. I really like to set it on a vise and try to, tap them straight. I picture it with tape holding it back in there. That might have been a mistake. At least we can clean up that fender though. It's looking kind of nasty. And that definitely needs a little bit of love, huh? I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it definitely looks a lot better than what it did. Alright, let's go beat on that. Try to get that a little bit straighter. You know what sucks? Go ahead and take the lens off. And there's plugs back there. I didn't have to take those wires out. Oh well. Yeah, I had to. So I got grill paint, high heat paint, but very little of it. I think, is this the side that shows? No, that's the side that shows. Alright, let's go give that a shot. And if we run out on the back side. And for the other one, I have plenty of other black paints for them. So let's just go give that. There's still a guard that goes over this. She's running low. Let's flip her over. Use up the rest on this side. You gonna make it? Shouldn't have said nothing, right? We will save a hair for touch-up. Actually, that's the bottom, right? Yeah. That's it. She's done. All right, let's get that other one knocked out. I'm gonna go with semi-gloss. Maybe. Okay. This can dead. Let's try it again. Fresh can. There we go. Missed it on. Because that one might be a little bit oily. Yeah, if that's the case, you kind of give her like a tack coat. And let that one sit for a minute or two. Let that sit, come back, I give it a big heavy wet coat, and that should do it. I'd say it's probably been a good 45 minutes, an hour. Let's see what we got. Our float's floating. Yeah, looking pretty good. Pretty good and pretty hot. So I'm gonna go, yeah, a lot of mud came out of that, huh? Go rinse them off, and we'll go to the bench and put ourselves a carburetor back together. All right, you comfy? Let's do a little carburetor reassembly. Maybe we'll chat some stories too. What do you want to talk about? How about YouTube-y stuff? I see a lot of questions in the chat down below, and see if we can chase some of those. What do I want to start with? Start with cameras. A lot of people say, why don't you get like a higher end camera to go film with? What I do, unfortunately, is pretty rough on the cameras. They get, like this one is on its way out too. The lens gets a lot of specks and like weld spatter and all that kind of stuff comes in and hits them. So what I do is I buy used, if you listen to the float, just a little like tingy a little bit. It might be a little bit of a piece of solder on the inside. We'll keep an eye out. Later on, if it floods out, the float's no good. It seemed like it was okay floating in the tank over there. Anyway, so the cameras that I use are Canon PowerShots, and they all use the same battery, and they're kind of simple. It's more of a point and shoot kind of thing. I don't have to worry about if it's in focus, if it's not in focus. Not that it's always in focus. I could just turn it on and concentrate on what I'm trying to work on instead of also trying to concentrate on what the camera's doing. So that is why I use what I use. They're 1080, you know, they're not exactly the potato camera, so to speak. We need the little tiny jet. Where did that go? Does that one go there? That's the main jet. And this is, I gotta get rid of the fur that's on my fingers. That's not gonna do it good. Main fuel goes through there, and then an idle, it's drawn up through this jet. And I took a wire brush and went through a little bristle on a wire brush. A lot of people try to use pipe cleaners. They're too big. I haven't found a pipe cleaner setup that is small enough to work for that. We need a bowl gasket. This one's kind of a weird setup too. It draws it. A lot of times your fuel just kind of comes in through the carburetor on a port and comes right through here. This one, it goes in through the float bowl, goes up through a passage between the gasket, over to the needle and seat, and then in. I think that's because they incorporated the reserve on and off on the bowl instead of on the tank, because you can't get to the tank. All right, what else do we need in here? We're going to need our new needle and float. What else are we going to talk about as far as the YouTube-y stuff? I tried using like a GoPro style of camera. I didn't like it. I didn't like it because what was the name of that camera? Tachyon? I forget the name of it. Anyway, it was kind of like a GoPro, but it has like spyware that comes with it. You have to go, it'll shut itself off after so many times. Like 5 times you use it, but then you got to go download software on your phone, and kind of like a spyware in my opinion. So I wasn't all that crazy about that. I still have it, but I really do not use it very much. What else? Projects. What projects I work on during what period of time. Is that right or is that upside down? We're going to find out in a second. So I'm going to just go look at that That's gonna be off right there. Why does it look like the old stain was totally different? See how the stain's going across it? Was the motorcycle sitting like that? I believe that is correct, though. Yeah. Anything else going there? I think that's it. I think we can actually close that up. We can assemble everything else once it's on. What was I just talking about? Oh, that camera. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe in the future I'll change over to trying to use something else. But for now, like I said, I have, this camera has like 8 batteries for it, 8 chargers, you know, so I just keep getting the same ones over. There's a pile of them over there. I say I probably get 2 months out of a camera before the lens gets so crappy. I'll start seeing it. Because what happens is it tries to focus on the dirt that's in the lens instead of the actual item that's in front of it. Oh, I know what I was talking about. What I decided to film. So there's kind of like a fine line that you have to. Let me tell you how we want to put this. To be able to. This is, I think, just the screen, right? To be able to stay in the good graces of YouTube, you have to maintain a certain amount of watch time and click on time, if that's a word. So the topics that you film has to be kind of within a window that performs. So I can't be making, you know, videos about folding doilies. It has to be something that has an interest to it. So sometimes if I jump out of a project, like say the orange truck, the orange Econoline everybody keeps talking about. You think that's right? I don't remember. Where's the flat one? That is for the valve. We're going to go with this one for now. And if we find it's an issue later on, we'll change it. What are these? No. This is a filter. The fuel comes in through the center of that and then goes through that filter and then shoots across. So I have to maintain a topic that kind of keeps you in the good graces. So that's why a lot of times you'll see me, I'll jump off of a project. And truth be told, a lot of times people get sick of, like, if I make 5 videos on one vehicle, it goes stale, so to speak. So I have to, for the fact of keeping the channel alive, keep jumping onto topics that, you know, it's still fun to do. I want to do them, but that's why, like, I can't spend 6 months on a truck, restoring a truck. It's just gonna kill it. And I'm not much on trying to get advertising and all that. You guys see that. I don't even ask you to subscribe. Just the fact that it looks like a little face, doesn't it? So it's not exactly cheap. Like this, I don't know if I want to start talking numbers, but let's just say between this building a year and my health insurance and just taxes for, like, property taxes, not income tax or anything, it's $100 grand. So I have to maintain a certain, you know, I have to be able to cover that without being the guy asking for all the handouts and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to do that. So I got to keep the videos somewhat in the mass appeal. Is that a good word for it? This is the fuel shutoff. This is where it's going to donate to figure out which one is one's reserve and one's on, and then you switch from one to another. Of course, I don't remember what position that was in, so we're just going to wing it. Actually, it's written on there. So it's on, off. If it was up to me, I would just make videos on, here's that where the little spring washer goes. I would just be making videos on making motorized bicycles. Be nothing but that, you know, like artsy kind of things. But that does not cover the bills. Is that too much information? So let's see, we're gonna hit stops, right? Would it be, do I have much of a choice? It's either gonna be that and stop, and that and stop. I think that's it right there. I don't think we can change it any other way, can we? And does it get the 2 short screws or the 2 long screws that I put in that other one? The spring washer is going to fight us. Let's see if we can get it lined up. So I have to kind of keep topics that are topical. Launching everything, but I lose an O-ring. One started, you can get the other one going. Yeah, Joey tried to steer away from all the small talk of YouTube, but I figure I'll talk about it once. Yeah, it's got a lot of spring pressure to it. What that does is it pushes it up against that seal in there. Get that to close all the way up. I think I'm gonna get a little piece of fuel line, and we'll put it on there. We'll kind of blow through it, see if the passages are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Does it turn still? That's rough. Probably should have put a little bit of grease or something on that. Better tight than loose, right? Alright, we'll keep an eye on that. What else we got? We got the enrichment. I think it's called the enrichment valve. It's for high altitude. And that went, I think, in the side over here. What's it say? Over 6,000 feet for thinner air, you would need more fuel. Click that out there. Come on. That work? Doesn't go back in? There we go. That should stay out. You should just be able to use that choke. We have some metering screws. They should all be external. So one is going to be, we got 3 screws in 3 locations. This one, does it have a spring? I do not see it. So it would be bowl drain, and then there's going to be one that's got a really nubby end on it. I think they both do. And what that's going to be is for idle speed. I'm going to say the larger one is for the idle speed. So that's going to line up with the slide. That's the slide right there. And that just holds the slide up in the air higher to rev higher. I believe that one's right. Yeah, the other one wouldn't even make it. And we'll call it right about there. And then this one is a idle mixture screw. That got them all? I'm going to run that in until it touches. Come out half. And 2. We'll call it 2. And I think these are going to be for that right there. Yes or no? Is that it? I don't think we have a gasket for the intake manifold. Did I forget to answer any questions? I'm sure there's a ton I forgot to answer, but we got this plug goes in. Actually, I gotta take the float bowl back off. There was a plug that goes on the bottom of the. I heard you yelling. No big deal. Anyway, so the amount of crap, being a YouTuber, that people and companies want me to sell you is ridiculous. I must get 5 emails a day of crap to sell you. Where did that go? I thought it was on the end of a jet. Yeah, and it's generally some kind of Chinese piece of crap they want me to sell you. Or like a video game or... Alright, let's... Where did that go? I thought it plugged off a jet. We're gonna find out. There's an old one. So if there's an old one, it came out of there somewhere. Alright, I'm gonna go poke around a little bit, see if we can find out where that goes. Either that, we're gonna put it together and we'll figure out where it goes after we put it together and fuel leaks out of everywhere. We good? Yeah, I'm gonna go put it back together. Alright, done. Well, I could have lied to you and said, I remember where it goes. I looked at old video. When we took it apart. And that goes in there. Pretty sneaky, huh? And that would just be a stop that blocks off those two passages. Okay, probably just presses up against them. You can get that to seat a little bit better. I think that's all the way down. Mystery solved. Especially when one came out of it. Like, wait. Sometimes kits come with extra pieces for different carbs. Oh, we got the answer. And I took the pet back apart and I put grease on it. So that moves much smoother now. Yeah, I was going to tear itself up. Now I think we're good. I got one through. Bolted that carb back on. I'm just kind of chasing a bunch of the pieces that we took off. See if we can get all that back together. And hopefully fire it up. Come on. Each one's going to get that much progressively harder. There we go. 2. I took a piece of wire, ran it through. There was a bunch of like mud wasp nest up in there. Everyone's a charm. Yeah, man. Have your friends help you. You're getting close. There you go. Alright, I'm going to go hook all that stuff back up and get that fender on there. That's all buttoned back up. I don't have any extra wires, so that's a good sign. Not saying it's going to work, but... Yeah, I got all those parts put back on there after the paint up. We got 3 colors of black going on. We got flat black, gloss black, and semi-gloss on this. I was just trying to match, you know, what it looked like was on there. So you can kind of keep it in the same realm. Looking pretty good. Taillights all back together. Got a new bulb in there. Whether it works or not, we're going to find out, I guess. Yeah, it's looking pretty straight. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but 1 or 2 drops riding it later is going to fix that anyway. And painted the chain guard up a little bit too to clean that up. Let's see about getting that gas tank in there with the 2 fuel lines. We'll snake those through, and then we'll get the battery box shoved in it. That'll give us spark, fuel, and we'll give her some kicks. She shall go. Well, we got to get that fuel line down through the abyss, and one's reserve and one's run. I made it one continuous line for now, so we don't waste any. But let's go mark. One of them's got an R on it, that one. So let's go put it like a tracer line down it. That's graceful, huh? We'll run a line down this one, and we'll know that one's reserve. And we'll snake them through, and I'll do the same on the carb. I'll mark which one's the reserve one. Hopefully you can whittle those through. Let's see if we can go wiggle that through. I got it with the pliers. Okay. We had to beat it out with a piece of wood and a hammer. See how it likes to return. Get in your hole. Yeah, let's go get a hammer. Give her a few whacks. See if a baby hammer will do it. Oh, it's denting it. Big dent. It's got like rubber. There it goes. Rubber bushings it has to hit. We won't talk about that dent. There's a cap that goes over it. That's where the position of it. It's got to go forward a hair more. Got it. We go run that fuel line to the carb. Yeah, it looks like it uses that bracket to keep the fuel lines up off the cylinder head. I left them a little alongside too, probably about an inch or two. I tried to tuck under there. Hopefully they're not, you know, kinked like that. I don't think so. Let's see about, you know what? Because this is going to get screwed on. Let's see if we can get this piece of chrome off here. I'm not sure how it's attached, but I know this helps hold it down. Maybe we could peel that off and just kind of detail that, get rid of that. It's kind of ugly on top, isn't it? Looks like it wants to come off. Yeah. You see if that'll pick off of there. Kind of like the one thing you can look at all the time, right? When you're on a bike. The gas tank, whatever's right in front of you, the handlebars. Let's see if that'll come off. I would think it's just stuck up in the front. Coming out. Coming. Yeah, it's kind of like a pinch molding. It's got like a clear plastic on it. I'll peel that off. I'll try to polish what's underneath. Yeah, a little clip that holds it. Right there. Funny how the stuff got up underneath that clear. Probably stainless. Should be able to buff it. I don't think it's chrome. Huh? Oh, that looks a lot better. A couple of squigglies. Greasy stains on it, but definitely better than what it was. Yeah, the fun part is, looks like there's a clip that stayed in there. Can we get that one out? Without killing the paint. Yeah. We're better off just trying to feed it over the top. Let's try it. Yeah, looks like it has to. It went in. If it went in, it has to come out. I'm gonna work on that. I don't like it like that. Get the last little chunk out of there. There we go. Go feed that back into the strip. Let's see if we can put that whole thing back on there. Oh, she's pretty. There. Let's go. It's going to be able to get in there. I think it was about right there, right? Nice pretty spine. Alright, let me get that cap on that tank and we'll get the battery in it. I ordered seals for the gas cap. Do I have it? Can't find it for now. Maybe we could like throw an O-ring. Too big. Throw an O-ring on there just to kind of hold tension on the cap so it doesn't want to vibrate free. Think that'll do it? Let's give that a shot, see if it'll work. Yeah. That'll do. But you know that'll be on there 10 years from now. And battery box is all put back in. Taillight's working. No headlight in it. So we got rear brake light. Yep. Good. I don't know about the rest of this stuff. We'll worry about that at another time. Let's get some fuel in her. See what she does. The moment of truth. Think I should get a funnel? Yeah. I ended up taking that back off and painting it. If I get the gas on that, it's going to piss right off. I think it's already clicked over on reserve, so hopefully nothing pisses out of it. Let's go find out. Some nice non-ethanol fuel. Let's call it right there. Like I said, I think it's already on reserve. Yeah, it is. Looking dry. What if we can crack the bowl vent? See if we can get. Here we are. Good. All right, let's get you back in the stand. Let's give her a kick, see what she does. All right. Choke's already on, I think. So key on with the light. Right. That might be in the way for the kickstart. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Choke's off. I'm gonna try to turn the idle off. It's gonna die if not. Sorry about that. We need to adjust the air fuel mix too, but I want to run it for a second. No, you did. Like that. That was pretty good, smoking a little bit. Choked off. Quiet, huh? That's just stuff burning off the exhaust. See if you can do a little air fuel mix. Choked? Yeah, choked off. Pretty good where it was. It's got no air cleaner or nothing on it yet. That's going to cause some drag. Now idle down now. If it's revving too high, you won't be able to adjust the air fuel mix anyway. Bench rattling. Nice and quiet, huh? Well. Let that rattle for a second. Let's right about there. Give her a couple reps. Nice as that, huh? Gotta get a new one of those. That's just the overflow for the carb. You crack it open, it doesn't piss gas on the case. That's the battery one. I gotta cut that back. Let's go bump it in gear. It purrs like a kitten, huh? Let's fix that. That work? Alright, let's go bump it in gear. So it's an auto, there's no clutch. What do you get? First, let me pop you in the stand. That's better. It should be third. Neutral. First. Second. Third. Good. You see it running? Didn't like that ball bag revving. Cool. Let's go fire it back up again. We have to go tweak that a little bit. Again, the air cleaner assembly's not on it yet, so it's not quite dialed in. Nice. It sounds awesome. Really quiet. Sometimes video doesn't do it justice, but oof, tad smoky in here. We can turn the fan on too. I'm going to back that air fuel mix out a little. Made, shake a little bit of dirt down and it blocked the idle jet. Let's go find out if that goes away. I wouldn't be surprised if it does kick a little bit of crap out of the tank. Okay, back the air fuel mix out just a hair. Sounds pretty good though. It's so quiet. It's warm, but it's not hot. That's all our switches work. Yeah, awesome. Go turn that key off. So we got a bunch of stuff to go do, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get it done in this one. Still got the front end to go through, the seat we need to rebuild, I got to change fluids in it, look into the brakes, the front shocks. Should probably drain the fluid out of them and repack those, and hopefully they'll stay dry. See how pitted they are. They look terrible. A couple of nicks in them. Nope. Yeah, our tires holding up air pressure wise. So you've got a bit more to do. I would like to have gotten it knocked out on this one, but we're much further along than it was. It's the first time that thing's run in probably 25, 30 years, huh? I'm gonna go put it around. Unfortunately, slow by roll. Let's get the rest of it knocked out. Yeah, get the handlebars to kind of square away. The front fender's bent up. All the corrosion and rust that's on there. We probably do the same that we did with that strip to that. Looks like it's got clear plastic on it. It just held corrosion in underneath it. Yeah, I think it's gonna clean up really good. All right, guys, I gotta go air the place out. I'm gonna go cut it right here. I thank y'all for hanging out with me, doing some wrenching, having some fun, reliving our childhoods. At least mine, anyway. And we'll pick this one up. Hopefully, it'll be the next one following. We'll be done with this. But for now, we're gonna call her. All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.